Builder. We are going to go through the new tool basically which Mulesoft came up, and they have released the beta version of it in February. It's available for everyone to explore. You guys can go ahead and explore that. So we are going to go through a few of the features that is available in Anypoint Code Builder. But prior to that, introduction. So these are all the organizers of the Mulesoft Meetup group of Toronto. Uh, I am currently working with Epicero as a solution architect. I have around 9 years of experience in building integration. My experience involves, I have earlier used TIPCO as well. Now, since 2015, I'm using Mulesoft. I am certified Mulesoft platform architect as well as integration architect. Siman, you can introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, myself Siman Jain. I have 8 years experience in IT industry, basically in Mulesoft API integration area. I relocated from Pune to here in Toronto last month, last 6 months before. I was a meetup leader at Pune chapter. It was like quite vibrant community. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Simant, are you seeing anyone else join from Mahesh, Kishore, or Shravan? I'm not seeing them. Okay. No, right? Okay.
no,
Okay. Yeah. So I think that's it. It's me again. Sorry. So first, the agenda of this whole meetup will be first. The introduction is already done. We are going to discuss more about the Anypoint Code Builder, and after that, at the end, there will be a trivia quiz where I'm going to ask the question, and you guys need to answer it in the chat window. And then at the end, maybe we can take a picture, like how many of you are there, and that's it. That's a wrap up. So yeah, I think that's it. So let me start. Okay. Shrimant, can you record the session if possible? Do you have access to do that?
already started recording.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So this is safe harbor statement, and after that, yes. So this is the new uh, basically tool that Mulesoft introduced, and they have released the beta version of it in February. What it does is basically it's a next generation ID for API and integration developers, where you can go ahead. So all the features that you have with respect to from the top layer approach, where first you design your application, after that you implement your application, and after that you deploy your application. So these three journeys, that user journeys that usually Anypoint platform has, they have bundled it into one tool, and they have given the name as Anypoint Code Builder. uh, so the beta version of this is available now. The and Like most currently they are in the beta version. So a lot of features, like regular, there is a regular update that they are going to do, where a lot of new features will be added every day. And in the second half of 2023, they are planning to release the GA version of it. And the long term vision of this particular tool is basically to replace the Anypoint Studio. It's not going to happen soon, but that's what the long term goal is. Uh, how it is different? So what they have done is it's a new modern dev environment, and behind the scene, it is powered by Visual Studio. If you guys have already know, if you guys have already used it, so there is an extension available for the Anypoint Studio and VS Code, and for the Data Viva as well, that you can utilize. So behind the scene, it uses the VS Code, and using if you are using this, you will have the entire ecosystem of VS Code extensions. You can enable them to work in the environment, where there is no issue in switching between your design and development. For developers, where they need to respond the changing product scope, Anypoint Code Builder will help them to go faster by surfacing recommendation at design time. So in the demo we will see that how it's going to help. And if you're seeing the screen itself, you can see that there is on the left side, there is GUI feature, or basically the flow diagram of the whole flow, and on the right side you have the edited version. So in the current implementation, what ACB or Anypoint Code Builder provide is basically, it's not a drag and drop feature that you get in the Anypoint Studio. It will be more like, you will be writing code using XML. So all the editing that you will be doing on the XML side will be reflected on the left side where your visual code will be there. So, and obviously Mulesoft always advocated for reuse. So this reuse capability will be so using like with this Anypoint Code Builder, Mulesoft is taking that to a whole new level with new building block capabilities to encapsulate app functionality like commonly used pattern, broadcast aggregation, or custom data transport transformation for reuse across uh, future use. Now, by choosing VS Code, there will be currently it's available in the web form, but when they will go with the GA release, they are going to provide the desktop version of it as well, so that it's easily integrated into our basically ecosystem. And obviously you can design, develop, and deploy from single environment. Like if you don't need a specific recommended machine. Like currently if you are downloading Anypoint Studio, you need Java 8 or Java 11 and you need to install it. So all the combined feature that you have to install to run a proper code in Anypoint Studio, with Anypoint Code Builder you don't need to worry about it, because everything will come as a in the bundled form. And obviously we have to go with the layered approach. ACB also suggests that you refactor the code as much as possible so that you can reuse it. uh, Obviously embrace code reuse with API and integration building block. They have the capability, inbuilt data weave playground is applicable. Like we will see once we start the demo process. Yeah, so that's the three user journeys across Anypoint Code Builder. First you need to design, after that implement, and the develop. So there will be three core journeys with the ACB. The first is obviously design, where so this is how your design will look like. Currently, it's Anypoint Code Builder support RAML 0.8, 1.0, and OS version of it. And as you can see, when you go to the UI, you will have like it's similar to the Design Center, how you design your APIs in the Design Center. That kind of capability is already embedded in Anypoint Code Builder. It will provide a seamless integration with Design Center and Exchange. You can import an API from the Exchange. You can publish it to the Exchange. Uh, and in the similar way that we have in Design Center, on the left, you can write your RAML file, and on the right side, you will have auto-generated interactive documentation, and you can test it as well. So this GIF basically fully explain how that will look like, and it has the capability to basically integrate with your version control as well. So if you are already, if you want to push your code to GitHub, that kind of capability is already embedded into that. So this whole GIF explains the design part of API, how you can do that. Now, next phase is obviously the implementation, where Anypoint Studio comes into the picture. So here we have the second user journey is implementation of an API. Obviously, you will have the dual experience. On the one side, you will have the graphical user interface of your flow that is being generated on the right side via an XML. So it will be in a seamless API and integration implementation. The scaffolding part is already available to you. So if you have designed your application in the Design Center, and if you want to create a flow using that API design specification, that kind of capability is already there as a part of implementation of an API user journey. You can build your application similar to the way we used to do in Anypoint Studio. You can debug it, And after that, you there will be an capability at the end when you have designed your application to be deployed to the cloud hub as well. And the last part is the development part. So obviously the refactoring, follow best practices. um, the desktop version is not available, but the you will have an option to use the cloud IDE version. And a similar way as using Exchange, you can import the asset from the Exchange. You can create an asset in Anypoint Studio and you can publish it to the Exchange as well. So that kind of capability is available as a part of the third user journey, that is development of an integration. Uh, yeah, so this is the features of the public beta that is currently available. Uh, it will be only available in the US control plane only. It's not supported by any other control plane yet for the beta release. And if you want to have an access to it, uh, uh, you can use the trial version, but there is a lot of issues. I'll show you what are the issues that with there that is there with the trial version. But if you have an organization, then you need to ask your org admin to give you the access to the Anypoint code builder, and they need to provide the permission to it. What will be available as a part of this beta release will be the cloud ID, and that ACB cloud ID. The whole API lifecycle is available. You can develop your integration. You can import the asset from the Exchange, which can give you the SaaS connectivity. There will be a split view where you will have the GUI part and you will have the XML part. By writing into the XML part, the same structure corresponding to that XML flow will be seen in the GUI part. Uh, there are various kind of API support is available. GraphQL API support is available. Even you can import the data weave library. That is the new feature that is added to ACB. Uh, it's currently not like using this ACB. Currently, you will not be able to deploy your application to Cloud Hub 2.0. It's only currently supporting Cloud Hub 1.0. Maybe in future they will start supporting, and it's not supported by like this whole runtime support is only applicable for 4.4. It's not available to earlier version of it. Yeah, so I think that's it. Do we have any questions for now before we dig deep into the demo part of it? I'll just check. Okay. 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 Since there's no question, let me go into the Anypoint code builder part of it. Yeah. So let me first log into. Let me close everything. And let me first log into Anypoint. Just want to show you guys. Okay, so that's how. Are you guys able to see my screen? Okay, I'm hoping that you guys are able to see my screen. Okay, so that's how your Anypoint platform first page will look like when the Anypoint code builder is added as a part of your org. So there is this Anypoint code builder a feature that is added to your org. And I was talking about the permissions, right? So for that, what you need to do is this is the trial account that currently I'm showing. So if you need to give an access, so you need to come here, click here, and there is this Anypoint code builder, right? So it's already added to me, but yeah, you need to provide this access to the user that wants to add this feature, or basically that wants to work on it. Let me directly go ahead and click started. So that's how it will look like, since I have already started working on it. So that's why this manage your ID is enabled for me. But the first time what you need to do is you need to come on this page. This page will have like all the information. Code Builder Desktop will be available in future, Code Builder Web, and obviously the three user journeys that we talked about. So if I click on launch web ID, it will open the ID for me. Yeah. And yeah, so that's how your ID will look like. And when you go to when you will come to the first part of it, there will be an option to, choose the folder. So you can come here and you can click on the folder that you want to open. By default, it is /home. I have created Toronto Meetup as a folder, so that will become your default workspace. So if you will see here, this is my default workspace. It will come first, like the first part of it. And if we explore the different section that we have here, so if you will see, okay, let me just minimize this one. So if you will see, this portion is where all your journeys are listed, and you can start creating any of the journey here by clicking, by clicking here. And when you will first come here, there's this on the top bottom, you can see this part of it, right? Not logged into Anypoint platform. So you need to click on that and you need to give permission to that. So it's pretty simple. You can directly just click here, come back, and you're already logged into. So now this ID ACB is now currently connected with your Anypoint platform. Uh, and if we explore this part of it, so this is where your a different extension will come. This is the part where user journey will come, and this is the part where you can see, yeah, so these are the different extension that is currently already added to my workspace because I have tried to explore it. So that's why, and as soon as you will start adding the different features to it, the different extension will come into picture. Obviously, API kit for HTTP, data weave is to support data weave. Mule runtime is to provide your platform extension. This part is when you will try to run and debug your application, this will come handy. You can, like, similar to in Studio how we used to check or debug an application. That way we can do that. This is the part where the source control will come handy. If you have if you have a GitHub account, you can configure it, and your local code repo will be in sync with your GitHub. This is the search part. If any file you want to search, you can search it here, and this is where uh, your actual workspace will look like. So currently in my workspace, if I have to give you, I have around one, two, three, four project basically inside my workspace, and this is the default runtime that will come with your workspace. So basically, if you will see here, this is the runtime on which it's currently running. Okay, so that's the introduction part of it. Do we have any questions or comments? Okay, we have none. Cool. Let me go to the. Okay, so now let's see, like, so today's agenda is basically I want to show you two part of it. One is, how we can design an API from the ACB and how it will scaffold to a particular application. And the second part is there is a use case that already have created. So in that use case, what we are exploring is I have already added a Salesforce integration where when a new case is whenever a new case is added, if it is escalated in the case is basically a Salesforce object. So basically that use case covers like whenever a new use case is added in the Salesforce, on the basis of the status of if it is escalated or not escalated, it will be sent to the Slack. or it will be an email will be sent. So if it is escalated, an email will be sent to your email account, and if it is not escalated, a Slack notification, a Slack channel, a message will be posted into your Slack channel where you will see that a new case is opened or not. So that kind of, so there are two use cases that we are going to cover. Okay, so let's first start with our journey here. Let me go ahead and click on design an API. I'll just name it as hello world app. And you need to provide the location here. So I'll just provide this, my workspace location as Toronto Meetup. And also, like, if you will see here, these are similar to the consoles that we similar consoles that we see in the Anypoint Studio. So output is basically your run output, debug console is there, and the terminal support is already there. So basically you can write your mammoth command here manually as well. And these are the ports where your application will be hosted once you design your application. And these are the various languages that is currently supported. So RAML 1.0, RAML point 8, OS 2.0, and OS 3.0 is currently supported. I'll select RAML 1.0, click on create project. Okay, so this is already there. Hello world app. I'll click here. And it's similar to the like how we used to design in our design center, right? So I'll just add one endpoint here. Hash first. I'll just add name. Let me add message. And yeah, you can see that auto support is already there. So get, and I'll just add one query parameter and name it as name. Type, I'll give it as string. An example, not an Indian, let me just give it example. Okay, anyways, just I'll just try that. So if you will see here, split editors, just a small ramble that I have created here, and what it does is it has one endpoint and it accepts a query parameter. And let me go to see the I'm looking for, but let it be. I'll just make it like that. Yeah, so it has one endpoint class message and it accepts one query parameter as name. And what we are going to do is, so there is a shortcut to the command palette that you can see, that is Control Shift P. And basically you need to, okay, let me see why it's not coming up. Okay, here it is. So these are the command palette that is available at the every step of your SEP. What it does is basically you can directly write the command to publish to Exchange, import from the Exchange, or basically if you want to deploy to the Cloud Hub. So that kind of thing is currently supported here. Now I need to publish it to Exchange. So I'll just select this part, publish API to Exchange. You have uncommitted change. Okay, I think I just need to commit it. So I'll just write a commit as first commit, and yes. Okay, so now it's So now the GitHub repo is synced with that. Let me go ahead again and publish API specification to Exchange. Okay, I have already done that. Okay. Okay. Now the different options that we give in the Maven command as well. So this is the project name, artifact ID. I'll just make it as com.demo.toronto. Version, default, and it has start publishing the API to Exchange on the right side. If you will see, it has start publishing API to Exchange. It will take some time. After that, we have an option. So here itself, it basically asked for to scaffold it to the applications, right? As it's similar process that we do in the Anypoint Studio. So I'll wait for some time here. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions. Does SAP work in the VS Code desktop? No, not now. So I think that will be applicable, Victor, when they will release the desktop version of it. Still, they haven't released the desktop version. So I think then only it will be added to the VS Code. So that we have to see in the second half of 2023 when they are going to release that version. Okay. So now if you will see here, there is a question, would you like to implement com.demo.toronto? So basically that's what it's asking, that you want to implement this application. I'll go ahead and select yes. And I'll name this project as app. And it will ask for location. And it will start scaffolding the whole project. Okay, so now if you will see, wait for some time. If you will see, it has created the whole mule structure on the basis of the RAML that it has, like the RAML that we have added. And if you will see here, it will take some time to give you that whole canvas. So that's what the split view that we are talking about, right? On the left side, you will see the structure, and on the right side, you will be writing the code in the XML format. Let's wait. Yeah. So you will see here, hello world app main, and after that we have, and like whatever part you want to highlight, you just need to click it and it will automatically highlight it. And on the right side, if you will see behind the scene, it will start indexing the project and everything. And whatever section you want to highlight, you just need to click on that and it will automatically highlight that. And this will give you the different flows that it has created inside hello world.xml. So this is app main, this is console, and this is the get implementation that we have implemented. Okay, and yeah, so that's how it has implemented the application. And if I want to add, so this is one of the feature that you can see, like automatically it tries to complete. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to add a transform with output JSON. I'll just add this here and default it. So that kind of autocomplete support is there in the ACB. And if you will see, as soon as I have added this transformation on the left side, it had added the corresponding component. Okay, so now our first application is ready. Now we'll see that if we have to run it, how we can run it. So we need to go here, click on run, and yeah. So there is still few issues with the ACB that I have faced, and one of the issues is when I click on run without debugging, like it start, but after that we will see. Like I'll show you guys. There is an issue. There is a null exception that we get when we try to invoke that particular API. So we'll see that. I just to show you guys, I have started this application. Let's see. So the same, the same console log that started when we deploy any application to our environment. It's already deployed, and if you will see here, your application running on port 8081 and this. And what you can do is basically you can come here and you can see this section 8081 is where your application is deployed. So what you need to do is, so there is two ways to it. You can directly click on this part and it will open an application for you. So if I click here, 8081, obviously API will be added, and after that I think the endpoint was hello or message. I think the endpoint was message. Oh, what happened? Yeah, so this error that I was talking about, right? So if you will see currently when I try to run it, it throws this particular exception. And for that, like if currently you are exploring the ACB and if you have any issues, what you can do is you can come here and you can submit your feedback through the GitHub directly. And if you will see, this is this is the case that I have raised. So when I run it in the common mode, it usually just throws this exception. So this is one of the bugs that they have identified. But if I have to run it successfully, what I have to do is, and on the top side, right, this is basically a debugger section that is automatically created. So if you want to stop your application, you can just click here, just wait for some time. And yes, so still it's a beta release, right? So there is a lot of features that they are improving. I'll click on start debugging, and then it will successfully run. Okay, your application running on port 661 is available. See all forwarded ports. I'll just again just wait for this application to get started. It's deployed. I'll go to this port part of it, 8081, and this. Okay, let's see what it's complaining about. Okay, I think there was one query parameter that we need to give. Where was it? Here. So I'll just give name is equal to. So you can see that this application is already given the response, and that was a successful request. One of the features that Anypoint Code Builder provide is basically there is a Thunderbolt client that currently it's provide, using which you can directly test your application from the here itself. But that is also not given to, like, not showing to me. So that is also one of the bug that I have raised, and I'm still waiting for their response. So that was the first use case that I was trying to see. uh, I was trying to show you guys. Do we have any questions? Yes. Okay. So first of all, I'm just trying to get the question correct. So if I talk about the challenges, right? So since it's a beta version, so I can show you that for me as a user, the first part is a lot of features are not available to me, like the Thunderbolt client support that I was talking about. And also for me, if I want to deploy this particular application, right? So uh, if I show you Control Shift P, so that deploy option is not enabled for me. So for that also, I have raised one like bug to them. So I think it's different for different user. Maybe since I'm using a trial version of it, uh, that option is not enabled. But yeah, like these are the couple of issues that I have faced, and I'm not able to run it in the normal mode. I have to always run it in the debugger mode, then only my deployment will be successful. And like, you don't like, this is not the feature that you want your application to be designed for any production use case. That's clearly mentioned by the Mulesoft itself. Like, you should not use ACB. It's just a beta version. You should not use ACB to create an application. And also, like, the movement from basically transferring your code from the studio to the ACB, and from ACB to the studio, there are a lot of hiccups still available in that kind of transformation or that kind of exchange. So yeah, these are the few points that I have faced till now. While still I'm reviewing, there are a lot of features that I want to explore, but I have not explored. Like, I have only explored few of them. But yeah, like, these are the few hiccups that I have faced. Hopefully, I have answered your question. Yeah, thanks, Mitesh. Okay. If we don't have any question, I'll move to my next use case. So my next use case is basically a app where, when a new use case is added in the Salesforce, on the basis of the status of that case, we'll be sending the data back to Slack or email. And it's one of the use case that is already available as a part of their documentation. So if you guys want to go to the documentation part of it, so yeah, it's they have created a very good example that you can go through. So if I have to give you a link there, Anypoint code builder overview. And if you will see here, currently I'm trying to cover this part of it, which is creating an escalation case API between Slack, and I'll just ping this in the chart if anyone wants to refer it. Okay, so in the next use case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this particular part of it, which is, as soon as a new case is generated based on the status of that particular case, the data will be either sent to the Slack channel or it will be sent to the email that is configured in the code. So let's go to the code. Okay. Okay, first I need to go here, file, and then I need to. Okay. Okay, so this, for the sake, since we have very less time available, so I have just created it. I'll just go through the different part of this ACP code that I have created. It will take some time, so I'll just wait for that to check. I'll just get that time to basically loads up, and after that, we can see. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, like, since it's a beta version and they haven't, the speed is too slow. Like, sometimes it takes a lot of time to load up. Yeah. So this is the use case. If you will see, what I'm doing here is, this is the same Salesforce connector. I'm listening to a new object on a case object, and after that, I'm transforming it. So the cool feature of it is, basically, if you will see, as soon as you add it's quite easy to add any of the new connections to your code. What you need to do is, you need to just click here and select, and once you select it, you will have an option to add those configs. So if I select it, automatically that component will come here. And as soon as you configure it, there is this little option that you can see, right? Automatically you can test your connections. So if I want to test my Salesforce connection is valid or not, I'll just click on test connection and it will just authenticate. It's verifying connection is valid. Yeah, so these are the, and suppose if you want to add a breakpoint to it, like suppose I want to add a breakpoint to it, all I have already added it, but I want to add two breakpoints. One I have added here and one I have added here as well. So it's similar to the, I think if you guys have worked on the VS Code environment, you already know. But for the those guys who have only worked in the studio, this may be a new thing for them because like in studio we used to, we usually go to the particular palette or that option and then we need to click and then we need to add a breakpoint, but that kind of feature is not there because it's XML extensive feature, right? So everything is based on the XML data that currently you are writing. So here I have added two breakpoint. What it does is basically, let me go through that. It listen to a case object and it periodically check that. Uh, we'll be extracting that thing, and after that we'll be creating different variables. So we'll be storing status and case number, and on the basis of the value that status has, if it is escalated, we are sending an email to that particular user, and if it is other than that, we just send a post to the Slack channel. I'll just go ahead and run start debugging. And yeah, I think the best option for you guys, if you really want to explore it, is to have like get it in the trial account and start exploring. I think since it's an initial version of it, so yeah, obviously it's not fully functional, but there will be a lot of cool feature that you will be able to explore. One of the cool feature that I got to know in following, like there is a Twitch channel for the Mulesoft that you guys can go and check. There they have different session with the Anypoint code builder. You can write a code snippet. Since there is a very less time available for me, so that's why I was not able to explore that part of it. But the code snippet part was the very cool feature that I got to know by going through those sessions. So that will help you to explore the journey of Anypoint code builder if you really want to dig deeper into the Anypoint code builder journey. Okay, so my application is deployed. What I'll do is I'll come here and I'll go to services. I'll go to cases and let me first create a non-escalated version of it. So new phone, save, and yeah. So if you will see this, so yeah, so that's how you debug your application. So it's similar to the debugger that we do in the Anypoint Studio. You can see the payload part of it, but it will be more similar to like VS Code. I think those guys who have already done the development, they must know all the variable value you can choose. You can see that the case status is new, case number is new, Slack channel this is test, and I'll just go ahead, choice logger, and this must have posted in the Slack channel. I'll just go here. Yeah, so if you will see, this is posted, the message is posted, please handle this case number is this, phone and case type is this. So that's how you debug your application. uh, Let me show you the next section where I'm sending it like I'm sending a mail. So for that I need to create a case with escalated status. So I'll just click here, new case, escalated, email, save. Again, as soon as, like you can see in the browser itself, as soon as the debugger is active, you will see that this variable case status escalated, done, done, and I must have received. Yeah. So if you will see, I have received an email. So yeah, I think this is these are the two use cases that I wanted to explore in this particular meetup. I think yeah. Now I am done with my content. If you guys have any question, you can. A version that can use for real world problems. Hmm. Yeah, Mitesh. The next part of 2023, I think maybe somewhere around July or August month, they're going to release that. But still, I don't think then also like you can start working it for real use cases. Like it will take some time to be, on that level where you can start utilizing for creating your project. Yes, so I think that's it, guys. We have, yeah, at the end, obviously, we have the quiz part of it. So I think prior to that, if you guys have any question, you can ask now. And if we don't have any question, we'll go to the quiz part of it. I'm not seeing any questions. Okay, cool. Okay, if that is the case, then what the next part of the meetup is, we are going to paste one question in the chat, and like the first three folks who answered it correctly will we will be using a wheel of fortune for them, and whatever names comes, they will win the like voucher. So let me paste the question first. Simant, will you able to grab those names for me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, I'm pasting the questions now. Let me just separate it out. And you guys can start answering it in the chat. Okay. Simon, we need to pick the first three who have answered it correctly.
So correct answer is
False.
false. So Brent
Yeah.
is the first, and then Komal, then Amitesh.
Okay. Brand Komal and Mitesh. Let me. Okay. And Komal and Mitesh. Let's run it. Ooh, okay. Congratulations, Komal. You can share your name and email ID with us in the chat. We'll be sending you that vouchers shortly. We'll go to the next part of it. The next question is, so I have, I think it's not part of slide, but I have mentioned it. So let's see who guys can answer it. Ah, that's nice. Komal, you already won, so I think it's better that you don't participate then. Yes. Okay. So I think let's directly give it to Carl Laughlin. What's that?
Priya gave the first answer.
Yeah. So I think Priya, you can give your email ID to us. Share your email ID to us. And yeah, this is the question. So this is this the last question is yes or no. Simant, you must have already noted down all the names, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is the last question. This is a yes or no question. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. Yeah, we can't deploy to Cloud Hub 2.0. It's only supported in Cloud Hub 1.0. So we have Brent, Mitesh, and Neeraj. Let me just pick their names already. Brent, Mitesh.
Correct answer is of this.
Sorry, no.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Congratulations, Brent. You can share your email ID in the chat, guys. Yes, Brent is fast. Yeah, it may be a morning coffee because of that. Okay, we have one email ID, Komal, Brent. Oh, no, no coffee yet? Okay, cool. Yes, yes, Nitesh, you're right. Okay, so we have Komal's email ID, we have Brent's email ID, and we have Priya's email ID. Simant, can you please note it down?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then thank you, everyone. I think yeah, it was an engaging meetup, and I'll share the recordings and the slides at the uh, event page, and do provide your feedback. The link that you will receive after this particular event ends. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your participation. We'll see you the next time. Thanks, Iman. Thank you.
Thanks, Anurag, for very informative.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Simant, you are going to send that email.